Aidan O'Connell with greatness. Now, I was watching something and something reminded me that what greatness truly is. Greatness is being very good and talented, while at the same time making those around you who aren't as good and talented look much more talented than they are. And that's what greatness is. You're on a peak, you bring everybody else to reach that peak with you. And that's what greatness is. And your career can be judged by different stages. You can be great in high school, not great in college. You be great in college and not great in the pros. So, and you can be good in the pros, but not even be great. So let's talk about greatness on the college level. And we're talking about Aidan O'Connell. Now, what in my mind makes Aidan O'Connell great in college? His first year he had Branch. Can't remember his first name. But he was there, he was his number one receiver, and he had a quarterback. I can't remember his name either. But they both looked dope. His tight end, I said quarterback. His tight end looked incredible, and he made Branch look like a daggone all-star. And so he got a trip to the pros because of it. And his his tight end guy got a lot of notoriety because of it. So Branch leaves. The next year, he talks with his friend, Charlie Jones. He's been friends with him for years. Said, Charlie, I know things been going hard for you because Charlie's been trying to get a job everywhere he's gone. He's been bouncing around. He couldn't get a straight job as a wide receiver. He had to be punt returning at Michigan. He couldn't get off the bench to a starting role in a couple of schools that he tried to transfer over to. So he comes over with Aidan. Says, let's see if we can we'll make you the best wide receiver in the nation. He comes up, teams up with Aidan. Aidan makes him the best wide receiver in the nation. Stats-wise, catches-wise. He couldn't get a daggone job anywhere. And Aidan threw him into the pros. And now that he is in the pros, everybody realizes he doesn't necessarily deserve to be in the pros. But he is nifty on his feet, so let's think about what he can do as a returner like he did at Michigan. So that's what greatness is. Okay, so let's say Aidan O'Connell's not great in the pros. There's nothing you can say that can discount that he was great in college. The passing yards, 500 passing yard game, breaking records at his own school, winning a Big Ten West Conference championship, doing all this stuff at a school that gets virtually no talent right out of college. Right out of high school, because the best schools are getting the best people, and then those who know and trying to do their best end up going to Purdue. And then somehow some of them make it out, but most of them don't. But while Aidan O'Connell was there, he sent 2 wide receivers and 1 tight end to the league who currently don't have jobs. They're on their team still, but they aren't necessary on their team, and they might be sliding further and further off. But he definitely doesn't look like the best wide receiver in college football, although the numbers suggested that since he had all of that from the number 1 receiver in the league. But once you take greatness away from somebody on the field, then you look like you are what you are. Your great quarterback makes you look decent. A great quarterback can make someone decent look good, right? And nothing can make someone decent great. Nothing can make someone good great. So Aidan has the ability to be great because he's shown the ability to be great in college. And that's what they should be judging him on when they judge him with the quarterbacks that are coming out in this draft. But they don't judge him against that. They judge Aidan O'Connell's pro career versus what these kids have done in college as if that's a comparable comparison. when nothing can be further from the truth. And if you compare them with his college numbers, well, then they don't compare either, not as a quarterback. I mean, some of them got a lot of yards, but Aidan got a lot of yards, and he had a lot of yards in big games, multiple times. And it wasn't because, oh, no, they turned it back and Aidan got scrambled for 250 yards this game, so we won. No. It's because he got in the pocket. He saw the people that he knew he had to worked with them, made them much, much better than they actually were, which is present. It was evidenced by the fact that they even made it to the daggone pros when the year before he couldn't return punts at Michigan. Come on, man. People don't see that. People don't understand that. People don't think enough. But if you see that, you should think that, okay, there's something there. That should be another hint to you. That, wow, he's so good, he made them look good. And they aren't. So, what is a quarterback who looks good when you're in college who has 3 first-round level wide receivers? Are you going to look terrible? You got 3 wide receivers on your team that are going to the first round, whether they played with you or not. All 3 of them going to the pros, and most likely all 3 going in the first round. That doesn't make anybody great. Michael Penix didn't make anybody great. And it's evidenced by the fact that he had great people around him already. How do you have to try to make somebody great? All you had to do was get them the ball and let them get jiggy and get down the field and score the touchdown. I'm not saying that he can't do anything else. I'm just saying it's a lot easier to do when you got good people all around you, top level receivers in the NFL, playing the bench a bunch of college scrubs. Okay, so what about Jaden Daniels? Well, he benefited from the same daggone thing. He didn't make nobody great. He was just really good with some really good people around him, and they all look dope together. What do you do when you break that team up? When one has to be here and one has to be there, are they going to look great individually? Perhaps. But also, perhaps not. Let's think about Kobe Bryant when he was winning his championships. Kobe had at least 4 or 5 different players change over from year to year, because once they went to the championship with Kobe, they looked good on the court. So other teams was like, oh, that dude's better than we thought he was. Let's try to get him on our team because we can improve our team by taking him from Kobe. And we can make Kobe's team worse by taking one of his best players off. And then that player goes to another team, and what happens? He stinkeroids. Why? Because you look great. You can look good when someone great is over there. Shoot, they're not paying you any damn attention. They're looking at the great one. Of course, I can stand over here in the corner and bust triples. No one's paying me any damn attention. Well, when somebody's not rushing at Kobe and you got to make it for yourself, you got to create your own 3-point shot. Well, it's a whole different game. And that's another thing that Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr. are going to walk into. Damn, my wide receivers can't beat any of these DBs. I got to keep holding the ball and waiting for them to make the right cut. Oh, he made the right cut and I missed it. That's going to be what rookies do. Again, keep C.J. Stroud out your mind. Every time I say rookie, I know someone listening somewhere is saying, what about C.J. Stroud? Okay, so what happened before C.J. Stroud? It never happened. And how come people get to say, well, what about C.J. Stroud when it talks about what he did in the rookie? How come we can't say when they talk about, well, he was drafted in the 4th round, and we can't say, well, Tom Brady was drafted in the 4th round, and then they say, well, Tom Brady is different. He was the greatest. Well, C.J. Stroud is different. He was the greatest rookie. He was the greatest rookie ever. Okay? So you're going to compare everybody's rookie performance to the greatest rookie ever? That's like comparing every shooter to Steph Curry. And if you don't shoot as well as he do, you stink. And we're going to find somebody in next year's draft that does shoot as well as Stephon Curry day one into the league. Right. Exactly. It's not happening. And that's basketball. So it's definitely not happening in football. And it's most definitely not happening at the quarterback position. It's not the way it works. So we got Penix, Jaden Daniels, just can't make we don't know if they can make people great around them because they've had great people all around them all the time. Now, what about Caleb Williams? Caleb can't make anybody around him look decent. The only person on the field that looks good when Caleb Williams is on the field is Caleb Williams. If you can't play enough football to make you look good and improve the play of the players around you, it's not the player's fault. It's your fault. You're the one who got the damn ball. You're supposed to get it to him. And just because you eventually got it to him doesn't make you great, in my opinion. In my opinion, because you threw it to somebody right before you stepped out of bounds, and then that person made an incredible catch, turned around and walked into the end zone. And that's all everybody sees, because that's all that happens. Because I watched the film too. How many throws did he throw that actually landed in the end zone to a wide receiver? Not many, because that's not what he does. He got to get the ball to somebody and see what they can do to get it down the field. That's what Jaden Daniels does. That's what Michael Penix does. So, do we see any flashes of greatness out of them? No, because they haven't been put in a position to show any flashes of greatness. Because they've had it all set up around them. And we talked both about Jaden Daniels and Penix and how they weren't necessarily doing it at the school they came from, but then they came here and they broke out. They had a great season. Why? Because all the damn tools around them. You go from being decent with a bunch of scrubs, then you got a bunch of top-level ability around you, and all these wide receivers could be considered greats in college. These kids and 3 wide receivers on each of those players' teams with Jaden Daniel and Penix that are going to the pros. 3 of them. Come on, man. That's not greatness. You can't create greatness when the people around you are already as good or maybe even better than you at their position. No. So we can't see what those quarterbacks can create as their ability as a quarterback. We don't know because they've had top-level wide receivers. And we also know that these quarterbacks only had a couple of breakout seasons. And so these breakout seasons were with these incredible wide receivers. So we got in the shotgun with an absolutely fabulous offensive line. So you've been catered to in your college football career. Great line, great. And we're talking about great, okay? We got people going to the pros off that line. Great wide receivers. All 3 of them going to the Pro Bowls. Time in the pocket. Nothing but time in the pocket. Standing in the shotgun, looking at the field, scanning. He might as well be back there sipping lemonade in a daggone chair because he gets all the time he needs. And that's not going to happen when you got a backpedal in the NFL. So that ability to make someone great is not even on their table. Now, they haven't had the ability or the chance to do it because they've had people who are outstanding around them the time that their careers have been going great. You've had, great people all around them. But Aidan didn't have that, and he still outdid what he was expected to do, and he still made a wide receiver who couldn't get a job, as a consistent job as a punt returner, and made him into the best wide receiver in the league. That's great. And if you don't think so, well, then you don't know quite enough as you should know when it comes to talent, greatness, and the ability to make those around you great. And if you're not thinking about that, it's because you're not thinking, period. You're just looking at the field, looking at highlight reels, and wow, he looked great on a highlight reel. If you gave me 10 games, I would look great on a highlight reel too. Bad knee and all. So, we got a great quarterback. Whether everybody else knows it or not. Whether everybody else can understand what greatness is or not. Next, another level of greatness that people don't seem to comprehend. Work, man. You got to have the mindset. And if you got the mindset and the work ethic, you are unstoppable in any field. And Aidan got the mind power, and he definitely got the work ethic. And people out there don't understand. Because the problem is they can't get it through their mind. All they can see is that Aidan is not mobile. Okay. And mobile is, people are saying, one of the most important things a quarterback has to have. Okay. You can't create a play if you can't move around enough, and you're just not going to make it in NFL. Okay. How the hell did he get here? Because he must be excellent at everything else. If you can't move, and that's one of the most important things that you're supposed to have as a quarterback, boy, you better be real good at everything else. And boy, I tell you, he is real good at everything else. That's why he's here. Okay? You think Jaden Daniels would be here without his legs? Doubt it. Caleb Williams wouldn't be anywhere without his legs. Michael Penix doesn't need his legs, but would he be anywhere without his great 3 wide receivers? We don't know. We'll have to look and see. Bo Nix, is he going to be okay with not having a line of scrimmage in front of him that's beating up on the other team, and he got 5 seconds to decide what he wants to do before he decides to run out of bounds after 10 yards? Or who is going to be out there to surpass what they've done in college and make it happen in the pros? There's no reason to believe any of them will, because we haven't seen any of them do anything exceptional by themselves. We haven't seen them, Caden or Caleb, do his hero ball and be successful with it. So, and then the big excuse is, well, he didn't have any weapons or he didn't have a good team. Whatever. Everybody can make an excuse for everything. Or maybe it's a reason. Huh? Maybe the reason those things didn't happen is because, or the reason he wasn't as good as they thought he would be is because of those things. So if you want to be who you want to be, then you can say it's a reason or an excuse to anything that could be a definitive part of why an outcome came the way it did. So who cares what the reason is? You know what I'm saying? Take your reasons and shove them just like you tell me to take my reasons and shove them. Just take the reason is what happened on the field. And we'll see what happens on the field with these rookies when they get to the pros. See how they can handle it. Because we already know what Aidan's going to do in the pros, right? We already know what Gardner Minshew is going to do in the pros. And we already know what Anthony Brown Jr. is going to do in the pros. So we're cool. We got Aidan, who has been great. And we're going to give him a chance to see if he can be great on the next level. With some good wide receivers before they met up with him. Right? Just like Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix had. Great wide receivers even before they met Michael Penix. So, we'll see. We'll see if they can be great. Okay? We already know that Aidan can be great because he's been great before. And we know the definition of greatness is make those around you much better. Okay? So when he gets into the pros, maybe the wide receivers will stink and it was him making them look good. Or maybe the wide receivers will be just as dope and everybody thinks they are. And he looks much better because he has that talent around him. We'll see when they get to the pros what they can do. But we have seen what Aidan can do. And if people are upset about 5-4 as a record in the NFL, then there's nothing you can do for them. If a winning record is not good enough, then nothing's good enough. And it doesn't matter what they think is good enough. It doesn't matter what I think is good enough. It matters what you think is good enough. It doesn't matter what any NFL GMs think is good enough. It really doesn't matter what AP or Getsky thinks is good enough. And at the very end, it doesn't even matter what TT thinks. Because Mark Davis, as everybody spoke earlier in their little report, has given the green light, whatever the hell that means. So, we're in good shape. Mark Davis is going to make the right decision, I think, in my opinion, because he already has. Everybody is looking and seeing what they want to see, but all the videos that I made and all the explanations I gave in all those videos, it doesn't mean anything, because those people want to believe what they want to believe, and they want to say what they want to say. They can look at physical evidence of them being wrong and just say, forget it, I'm right. I decided that I know what I'm talking about more than that person knows what they're talking about, because I'm me and they're a professional, right? And I've been doing my podcast for a bunch of years now. These fools, I've been doing it for 5 years now. That makes them professional talent projectors, or talent, what do you call those people who, talent judgers, whatever they are. Talent scouts. Ha! Well, they not. After 5 years. I've been watching football for 5 years too. And you know what? I bet y'all been watching football for 5 years too. That don't make y'all perfect talent scouts. It doesn't make me a perfect talent scout. It definitely doesn't make Mitchell Wrench, Raider, whatever the hell is, Raider D, wasted talent. All those get overreactive when you mention Aidan O'Connell. They tired of it. Why? Because they got no argument. Remember, LeBron James got tired of the question, who could win, you or Kobe? Because he thought he would lose to Kobe. Because he had no argument. So he got frustrated whenever somebody asked the question. Why y'all keep asking me that? Why y'all keep asking me? I don't care. Why you keep asking me? Frustrated. Because in his head, he knew the truth. Right? So for whatever reason, I don't know what's in their head that makes them think what they spouting is the truth. Because there is not a lot of evidence behind what they saying. And this whole, he looks like this on film. I already told you how I feel about that whole, I done looked at his film thing. Garbage. So, and if they did, then they did. And if you look at the film and you come up with those opinions, you're dumber than I thought you was. Because these people aren't even saying that. No one, when they say Michael Penix or Jaden Daniels, says, also he did benefit from the talent around him. It's not even mentioned, because all they want to do is talk about Jaden Daniels and his talent. Because the people who want him on their team want him on their team. And by the way, I looked around other teams in the league, and guess what? They saying the same damn things that the Raiders saying. The Broncos feel the same way. We're going to trade up. We got to get our greatness. All the fans is fooled into the same thing. And I don't know what's going on with the Broncos and the other teams that need quarterbacks, because I don't care. I'm looking at my team and what we need. And what we need is an offensive line. And if our offensive line is good, hopefully you can make them great like Aidan did in college. He's done it. And that's undeniable. If you want to, discount the level that it was done at, well, then discount the level that these kids did their work. So you're going to judge these kids' college ability versus what Aidan did in the pros and say that they must be much better than him. Aidan's great. He's shown it. If you know anything about what great is, you saw it when you looked at it. But they don't know. Because they don't look. Because they don't care. Because they don't even debate. They don't even mention Aidan except to yell about him. They never say anything good about his game. All they say is he can't run, and I like him, he's a great guy, but he sucks. Just so they can hedge their little bets when he comes out and he's leading the team and they come with that. I said I liked him. I already said I liked him, and he had the arm, but he wasn't going to move, so I said he couldn't make it and he wasn't going to make it. But I guess since we got a better line now, and he got a little more mobile because he's working out, then, maybe, or he's better than I thought, and I think I always thought he'd be good if he could do that. I said he'd be good if he could do that. bet hedging ass punks. Well, come here, dog. I said it. I believe it. I watched it. I studied it. I saw the film. And I believe me when I say I watched the film. And you can too. Why? Because I have plenty of time. You know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing else. Take care of my kids and do these videos. And then make sure I sound like I know what the hell I'm talking about before I put my face in front of the camera and start telling people what the business is. Like I got all the damn answers. I don't got all the damn answers. I don't got all the damn information. I got the willingness to think about it. I got the willingness to contemplate what's going on in front of me and not necessarily just accept what's being said. Because these fools aren't even accepting what they said. At the beginning of the draft, it was anybody but Aidan. As long as we can get a decent quarterback at 13th pick, there's 6 quarterbacks in the draft that we could use. I think interim would be better than Aidan O'Connell at the 13th pick. We got to do it. Even if we can't get Jaden, we got to do somebody at the 13th pick. Because now, what is this crap that they saying now? We could get Penix. I want Penix, but only if we can trade back and then trade up. I think he's not worth it here. Mo hedging, man. Mo changing their opinion because the reality gets closer and closer to them, and they realize what they was pubbing up wasn't nothing but cap. You know what I'm saying? Now they trying to find a way to dig their way out of it or maneuver way around it. A lot of them stay true to themselves, though. I will say that. I don't listen to Q. I listen to Q Myers. I don't really like listening to Q Myers, but he comes up with good information. And he shoots his stuff straight. You know what I'm saying? He's a fan. He admits it. He wants JD5 as a quarterback because that's what he dreams. He'll say that he thinks it's better because he thinks it's better for himself. He also says, I know that the general managers know more than me, and we'll see what they pick. For my money, I want JD5. And he stayed that way from tip to tail. Okay? He has not changed a little bit on wanting JD5. These other fools, even Wasted. Well, no, forget that. Because now Wasted is on that Michael Penix is all right too stuff. But no, get him where we can get him at 13. But they all say also, if that's your guy, if you think that's your guy, you got to do what it takes to get him. Why do people not say, if Jaden Daniels is your guy, why don't people say, Jaden Daniels is your guy, you got to go up and get him? They're doing the wrong thing if they don't do that. No. They don't sit there and say what's really. They sit there and say, I'm going to be right because this, and that. But if I'm not right, it's because they did something, not me. I can't stand it. I probably went long on this video. But thanks for watching. Now I'm gonna act like one of them punks. Like and subscribe. We need as many as y'all as possible. Nah, man, we need some Aidan people here. You know somebody who want to hear something positive about some Aidan? Then let them know about Guru and say, come through. You know what I'm saying? So you want to hear that same stuff out there? That's fine. You know what I'm saying? You can look out on dark clouds all you want. But when you're ready to see some silver lining, come through. All right? Guru out.